really calm and it doesn't look like much today, this spot right behind me was once the greatest surfing spot on the entire east coast of the United States. I'm standing in front of what was formerly known as the Sebastian Wedge or the First Peak. This spot here was the best surfing spot on the entire east coast of Florida until somewhere in the 2000s when they started to work on the jetty and overnight the wave disappeared. Hey everybody, I'm Paul, your local realtor and guide to South Florida living, and welcome back to another city tour. And today I'm coming to you from beautiful Sebastian up here on the east coast of Florida. And yes, this particular area of water produced some of the world's greatest surfers known to the surfing industry, like Slater. He surfed this water, and many, many more. This wave had world champions created and so many different awards to the best surfers out there. For nearly 40 years, the Sebastian Inlet groomed more world champion surfers than any other wave in the world. It was responsible for 8 Pipe Master wins and 16 world titles. But beautiful waves and world champions isn't the only thing that these waters produced. It's also known for being the treasure coast, because somewhere out here, just out of this inlet, in 1715, a hurricane sunk 11 Spanish galleons, and there is endless amounts of gold and treasure still out there. So on today's video, we're gonna talk treasure. We're gonna talk a little bit more about surfing. We're gonna go check out a really cool surf shop. Of course, we're gonna check out a local brewery. I can't wait to do that. And if you guys keep watching, it's gonna be really great because I'm gonna be interviewing the granddaughter of Mel Fisher, the world famous treasure hunter. And this is fun to say, that this video is actually sponsored by CAPT Hirams, which is where my wife and I will be staying these next 2 days. So we're going to show you a magnificent resort that you can check out, enjoy nature, fishing, relaxing, and of course, some drinking. So it's going to be a fun day. It's going to be a fun 2 days of showing you the beautiful city of Sebastian with its history, its people, its food, and everything it has to offer. So let's get started. All right, as usual, before we start getting into the whole video and showing you every place about Sebastian, which there's some cool stuff up here, let's talk a little bit about the history of Sebastian. So the first people to really come to Sebastian, other than the Indians and those who had been here for thousands of years, were 40 settlers who came here just south of the St. Sebastian River and set up a camp. The town was first known as New Haven, then it was changed to St. Sebastian, and then later they dropped Saint and it was just known as Sebastian. As you can imagine, like many of the East Coast cities along Florida, fishing was a mainstay, right? There's a lot of fishing. You have this great Indian River, which is just on the other side here. Of course, you got the Atlantic Ocean with all the fishing there. So fishing was a mainstay for this area, but it was also known for its wildlife and its nature. Look at this view, y'all. Wow. That is... wow. And there's the inlet right there. So there's the Sebastian Inlet running out. And of course, that's coming from the Indian River, which borders the eastern part of Sebastian. So Sebastian has the Indian River on its east, and then it's bordered by the St. Sebastian River, which is out west. So as I said, there's a lot of wildlife, a lot of birds, and a lot of fishing. As you can see, people out here, we're at the Sebastian Inlet State Park, which is a great place. It's open 24 hours a day. And you can come out here and look, there's people out there swimming in this little protected lagoon. And then you have some people fishing on the other side. And of course, there's a jetty on the other side. The jetty on this side, unfortunately, is closed, where I was gonna go out and start this video, but it looks like they're doing some work on it. It's kind of neat. You can come up to the second deck here and get a view of the ocean out there. And like I said, the jetty back there, if people were fishing, that would be packed. And the place here is called the Surfside, and they have food and drinks. Matter of fact, my wife's enjoying a delicious hamburger right now. So to get into this park, it was $8 for the two of us. I imagine if there's more people, they charge more, but $8, not so bad. And you can come out here and they got bathroom facilities and showers all around, and the beach is beautiful. As I said, you can get a bite to eat, get in the shade. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna head out. As I said, there's a really cool surf shop that we're gonna go talk to one of the locals that runs a surf camp, and they have a lot of history about surfing. As I said, this town is loaded with surfing history. It's such a cool place. And then it's getting hot out, so I'm definitely gonna have to get a nice ice cold beer, and we've got something planned for you there. and we're just going to get out and check out Sebastian. By the way, if you guys have been watching some of these videos, you'll notice that I like to focus on small towns. I like small towns. They're cool. You meet great local people. It's easier to kind of get your way around. I mean, we'll cover some larger cities, but for the most part, I like hitting small places like Sebastian. And right now, you can see behind me, it says Sebastian Inlet right there, Surf and Sports. We're going to talk to one of those locals that runs a cool surf shop here, and he's going to talk to us about a surf camp and a little history about the inlet itself and the wave and all that. So let's go inside and we're going to go meet John. All right, guys, so here we are at Sebastian Inlet Surf and Sport, and I'm here with John. He's the owner of this, and he's one of the locals I told you about that's up here in Sebastian. So, John, thanks for talking to us. You know, we're coming up here and we're showing my audience Sebastian, one of the cool Florida towns, and all the history, and obviously all the history includes surfing, and obviously it's created some world champions like Kelly Slater and many, many others.
Well, one of the biggest ironies is, for a long time, particularly Californians made fun of Floridians,
right?
Floridian surfers, and thought, oh, would you get a 2-foot wave today? You know, they were all doing that, but in fact, no state or even country has produced more world title holders than Florida.
Yeah,
which is insane. And of course, you know, Kelly Slater, you know, is the GOAT of surfing.
We'll talk a little bit about, for my audience, if they're coming down here and they're visiting and they want to come to Sebastian and they want to check out this great place and all the stuff I'm going to show them today. I understand that you have a surf camp and you do a surf camp, but also for those who want to surf and learn?
Yeah, our main business as a shop is more teaching surfing than it is selling surfboards.
Okay.
And we're very fortunate that we have, you know, over an acre here, and you've already seen a little bit in our backyard, where we have the ability to have a whole training area. And it's a whole lot easier to teach somebody how to pop up to a surfboard, how to build strength for surfing. You know, a lot of people think surfing is a leg sport because you're standing on the board. It's an upper body sport for popping up and paddling.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll do 10 times as much paddling as you will be standing on the board riding away.
I watched my son when he started surfing. It was a lot of paddling, not much riding. This is 2025. He's got people going to surf camp. Who knows? You may have the next Kelly Slater or the lady that the young girl was again.
Carolyn Marks.
Carolyn Marks.
Yeah.
You know, you may have the next day. She might be right here getting ready to take a lesson. You never know.
That's entirely possible.
Cool. Well, that was cool talking with John over there, but now we're going to meet another local. We're going to go meet the gentleman who I spoke to earlier. This guy happens to own a microbrewery. As I told you, I like to stop off and support locals. So we're going to go check out, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but PAREIDOLIA Brewing. But Pete's in here waiting for us, and we had a good time talking on the phone, so this should be pretty fun. All right, guys, so I told you I was thirsty, and I'm in my element. Y'all know I love craft beer, and now I'm in the back where it all happens. We're not going to bug Nicole because she doesn't want to come on camera, but are you the head brewer?
Lead brewer.
Lead brewer, she's the lead, like lead guitar, lead brewer, that's a cool name. So, but we're back in here, and as we walk over here, and we're going to get out of your way, hun. She's making the good stuff. We're going to come over here, and we're going to meet the mastermind. So, without further delay, and we'll get to the beer in a minute, but everybody, this is Pete.
Hey guys, how are you?
What's going on, buddy?
PAREIDOLIA Brewing.
Yeah, okay. How do I pronounce it?
PAREIDOLIA.
PAREIDOLIA, and
Yep.
and what does it mean?
It's really, our brains are hardwired to make sense out of chaos. So when we see things that look jumbled or confusing, our brain automatically is trying to make sense of it.
Okay.
So the greatest example of pareidolia will be Jesus and Toast, or the
Okay.
man on the moon.
Okay.
But it's pretty much whatever, your brain is always trying to make sense out of chaos. So
And that's what the word means.
that's what the word means.
What a cool name for a brewery. One of the most unique names I think I've ever seen in all my travels of talking to people in breweries and just going to breweries.
You know, our motto is face it, beer is good because most people see faces.
Nice. I like that. But I was looking at your menu, and then you got some like mighty fine looking beers. I know Zip Code is the popular one, right?
32958 is our zip code, and that's what everybody calls it. That's
Okay.
kind of an homage because we're in the old post office. So
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
we named it after the zip code.
So this is the old post office.
This is the old post office.
So-
And the room we're standing in right now, where our brew house is, this used to be open, and so all the mail trucks would back up here, and this is the last pole left, but they used to hang their mail bags
Oh, wow.
off of the pole up here.
how
And we had
cool.
one over there too, but it was right in the middle of our walkway, so we had to get rid of that. But
Yeah.
this used to be where all the mail trucks would come in and load up for the day. It's funny, we every once in a while will have some old employees who used to work here as mail people, and they're like, this is such a better use for this building. So that's kind of fun.
So let's go inside and let's take a look at some of your beers and
All
you
right.
tell us a little bit about them. And
Let's drink up.
cool, brother. Let's go.
All right.
All right, guys. Hey, so Pete and I got ourselves a couple beers here. First of all, cheers, man. Thank you so
Cheers.
much. Appreciate
Absolutely.
meeting another fan of beers. And you know, as you guys see some of the footage, he has this collection of beer cans going all the way around. And back in high school, I had a wall of beer cans, and you know, we collected them. I'd go to antique stores or thrift shops, whatever, not so much antique stores, but they might be antiques now, some of the beers, but I would find those beer cans and put them on the wall. So I think I was always destined to be a fan of beer and craft beer, and this guy has a really cool brewery. So I have, which one am I having here? This
You're
one's
drinking the Citra Surfer Hazy IPA.
nice. So cool. Surfer, and you're having?
I'm having the Summer Sunrise, which was a collaboration with Captain Hirams Resort right down the road.
See how he did that? He did. I didn't even ask him to do that, and that's well, that's where we're staying tonight, of course.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're
Perfect.
heading over there. Well, cool. Well,
Cheers. All right.
I noticed that you have food here too.
We do.
So you guys get a bite and get some food. What do you got going?
Yeah, we've got hot food, we've got panini sandwiches, we've got flatbread pizzas, soups, salads, pretty much pub fare is what we say, but
Cool.
our sales now with food are about 50% of our sales. So
Very nice.
almost as many people coming in for the food now as they are for the beer.
And this is a cool story. So I found this by mistake. So and I don't know much about him as I was a kid, but so Arlo Guthrie, right? Alice's Place, famous song and a folk singer of the 60s and 70s. He lives here in Sebastian.
Yep.
So so I looked him up and I saw him here serving this guy beer.
Howdy, guys.
Hi. How you doing today?
What are we having today?
I'm going to take a zip code.
You know, I'll do the same.
Sounds like a plan to me. All right.
Yeah, that guy looks just like Arlo Guthrie.
You know, I was thinking the same exact thing.
Has anyone ever told you look like Arlo Guthrie?
Yeah, I get that a lot.
So I guess he came in and did a little promo with you.
We pitched an idea to him to make kind of a fun video where he plays a bartender.
Yeah.
And we say, man, that guy sure looks like Arlo Guthrie. And he basically says, yeah, I get that a lot. And then he walks away.
Wow,
so
that's
it was kind of
cool.
fun. He's a good sport. And
You got
his
some
wife,
cool stuff, Jerry Garcia on the wall there, and some cool stuff. So
Yeah,
kind of
we're kind of a mishmash, kind of an eclectic. You know, people say, what would you call your decor? And funky is the only word I can come up with.
That's cool.
There's, you know, the majority of things on the wall in here were given to us by different people.
Oh, nice, man. So really community.
Which is
feel.
fun.
That's awesome.
And the concept of pareidolia, it's way bigger than us because everybody does see things. They didn't know there's a word for that, but most people, you know, when they learn that, they're like, wow, I thought I was crazy. I go, well, you could still be crazy, but I can tell you that seeing faces is normal.
Come check this place out. Tell this guy that Palm Beaches Paul sent you. He'll charge you double. And but yeah, man, just cool brewery, cool vibe, nice people, and awesome beer. And I will be taking some of this to Captain Hirams for later on. So
Perfect.
brother, thank you, man.
Thank you for being here. Appreciate you supporting
Cheers.
craft beer.
Absolutely. Cheers. That was absolutely awesome. What a cool guy, right? Just Pete's super cool. And of course, I got some Zip Code, right? That's their pale ale. I'll have that at the hotel. But what a super cool guy and what a neat brewery. So come check them out. I'll put all the details down below so you can find them. And if you're here in Sebastian, you want to go check them out for sure. But right now we're heading over to a really cool place. We're heading over to a museum, but it's not just any regular museum. We're heading over to the Mel Fisher Museum. So let's hop in the car. We're going to go over and talk to Nicole. Here's Nicole, and she is the granddaughter of Mel Fisher, and her and her husband and their family, they run this museum, and the museum's called the
Mel Fisher's Treasure Museum in Sebastian.
There you go. And this is, a lot of this museum's about the 1715 fleet, but they do have some cool treasure here, like I just showed you from the Atocha. So first of all, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
I'm totally geeking out on here because this is cool, and anyone who's been in Florida has known about your grandfather and the cool stuff about it. But why don't you tell the audience a little bit about this particular place, they can come in here and what they can learn and see and all that stuff.
Okay, great. Well, my grandfather moved here in the early 1960s to the Vero Beach, Sebastian area in pursuit of following his passion in life, which was treasure hunting. And after successfully doing that, he opened up the museum here after finding the mother lode of the Atocha as well down in Key West. We've been here since 1989. When you come to the museum, you can expect to see a spectacular collection of artifacts from both of the shipwrecks that he salvaged, and that would be the 1715 fleet, which sunk right here on the Treasure Coast, as well as the Atocha, which sunk off of Key West. We have about a 20-minute long introductory film in our theater. We have a wonderful gift shop where you can own a piece of history yourself. We also have some recreations and replica pieces, as well as other nautical gifts. Everything for every size wallet, from $1 to, well, how much do you got?
My son...
He's going to buy something today.
My son got a cool necklace, but it wasn't found on the actual ship. It was found away from the ship, I guess, because obviously if it's on the actual ship, it's more. But it's a cool coin, and it's from, so it's I'm jealous because he has it and I don't. So, and it's history. I mean, it's world history, not just Florida, but history in the world, and it's really cool that to have that, knowing that was on a ship sailing our waters in the 1700s on its way back to Spain. So
it is. It's super cool. We've got all this culture right here in our backyard, and very privileged and happy to be carrying on my grandfather's legacy here at the museum. And we've got a couple of great interactive exhibits as well, fun for all ages. We have a little treasure hunt for kids if the kids want to come through and look for certain things around the museum or answer some riddles. We rent metal detectors if you'd like to try a hobby, a new hobby, and find your own treasures on the beaches here.
That's what I'll be doing in my old age, y'all.
Yeah.
And so we can you have a beer that you
yes.
You have a beer that Pete did. We saw the brewery, and the beer is
it's my favorite beer. It's called Mel's Gold, and that's at PAREIDOLIA.
There you go.
Yep.
So see, small town vibes. Gotta love it.
Yep.
Well, let's go take a look around, y'all. This is really cool. And thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
This is really exciting. So let's go look at some cool treasure here. So what a cool place, right? This is an actual cannon. This is a 9-foot long, 3,000-pound cannon. Is one of 10 recovered from the Atocha in 1975 by Dirk Fisher. 18 of these guns were listed on the manifest serial numbers. On several of them provide positive proof that they were aboard the Atocha from the 1600s. How cool is that? So just amazing. So that's some stuff. They have artifacts, obviously treasure. Really cool place to come through. So this is the Spanish salvage efforts. Yeah, they tried to salvage the Santa Margarita in September 4th, 1622. So after they had, some of those ships sank, the Spaniards came and they actually salvaged some of the treasure, which is amazing for the time. They went down there and got some of it. What they didn't find is what Mel Fisher found, stuff like this. I mean, look at that, guys. Isn't that amazing? One of the cool things Mel Fisher did when you were going down there, right, you're trying to find this treasure that's underneath sand and for hundreds of years, right, was he came up with this invention. And as you can see, this is like a replica of it, but you see how they have these devices blowing downward, and it's from the props. So they use that for what they call dusting. And that allowed them to take fresh water and put freshwater, clear water down below on the floor, and then it would slightly dust the floor. And the first time, I guess when they did that, the first time they did it, they found a seabed of gold coins from the wreck. And that's how they were able to kind of dust the floor and find lots of treasure. So really cool invention, and helped them find treasure.
Hey guys, we're having an event July 18th, 19th, and 20th. It is called Mel Fisher Days. You can look at all the events that we're going to have on the schedule at www.melfisherdays.com. But more importantly, we're supporting two amazing organizations, the Michael App Jr. Have a Heart Foundation, as well as Wesley House Family Services. And you can bid on over $30,000 of items up for grabs right now. We have an online auction, and you can also click on the link on that on the website. It's happening now, and that's June 20th to July 20th. So get your bids in. You can even win a stay at Captain Hirams. That's up for bid. You can also win a gift card to go get some Mel's Gold beer at PAREIDOLIA. So check us out.
All right, guys, here we are at Captain Hirams. Now I will do a full tour of the resort and show you all the fun stuff tomorrow. It's been a long day, but let me show you our room. This is pretty cool. So in here we have the bathroom, which is really nice and spacious. Okay. And then over here we have a little mini bar, right? We've got a microwave, sink, Keurig. We got some cold beers chilling in the little refrigerator there. Some local beers from our boy Pete. Back here, we have a king size bed, which is, oh, so comfortable. Oh man. Yeah, that feels amazing. And a big closet for everything right there. Of course, back here, you have more for all your clothes and everything if you're staying here for an extended period of time. This is cool. Wife and I can have a cocktail or coffee right up here. There's a couch. I actually got two TVs. I mean, that's pretty cool. You got two TVs in this room. And then look at this out here. This is, what a view. We've stayed here before, but we didn't stay on this side. So come out here and we have a water view of the beautiful Indian River. Look at that, y'all. That's where we might be out tomorrow doing some kayaking. You can see down here we got the Cove Restaurant, one of the many places you can get a bite to eat or a drink, and even a nice little place for the wife and I to sit down here with our feet in the sand and a cold beer in our hand. Like this gentleman. That's right. He's like our neighbor, popping a beer already. There you go. How you doing? That was a fun day yesterday. Meeting Mel Fisher's granddaughter, the treasure, talking to Pete at the brewery over there. Man, that was a great day. But it's day two, so yeah, that's the first time I'm doing a video with you guys with a day two. And we got into the resort last night. We checked into Captain Hirams Resort, and we just went and listened to a little bit of music, had some drinks, had some dinner, called it a night. We were pretty tired. But we got a lot of stuff to cover today. But let me talk to you about our sponsor, Captain Hirams. So the resort is called Captain Hirams, and it got its name from the founder's uncle. He was a captain in the Army who died during World War II in Normandy Beach, and he had a love of the sea, so they always referred to him as Captain. So Tom Collins, the founder of Captain Hirams, came here in 1986, and he loved the small fishing town and the village here in Sebastian, kind of fell in love with it. And so he bought an old raw bar that was here. It was a restaurant, and it turned it into CAPT Hirams Resort. So what started out as a small raw bar and waterfront marina with capacity for about 28 people has now grown into the area's largest waterfront resort with a capacity of up to seating 500 people and multiple venues. So you've got a couple restaurants, like you see Blackfin's where we ate last night, and then you've got another place over here. You got the Sandbar where they have live music, and we'll go over there in just a little bit. They're just playing some music, so I'll have to walk through. But there's a lot to do here. You can rent bikes. Actually, they have a resort fee, and the resort fee covers paddle boards, kayaks, bicycles, which we're going to do some kayaking later on today out on the beautiful Indian River. But they also have a boat eco tour that we're going to hopefully go on a little bit later called the River King, and that's a 2-hour boat tour that will take you through the Indian River, and you can see a lot of the wildlife and everything. So there's a lot of stuff to do here, but there's also, if you don't want to do any of that, there's plenty of food and drink. As I said, they have like 2 restaurants or multiple restaurants, and there's bars and all over the place, plus there's an ice cream bar. And I actually had a great local beer last night right here. You can see right there, the Summer Sunrise, which is a collab with PAREIDOLIA Brewing. Our friend Pete's everywhere. Now this is one of my absolute favorite times to get out when I'm vacationing, because I have the whole place to myself. It's really quiet, and I don't have to worry about other people getting on film that don't want to be on camera, and it's quiet. Now, obviously the place is very quiet right now, but you can see it's really charming resort, cool island vibe. They got like little boats that you can sit in, sort of where the tables are, and just it's really neat, and lots of live music. And I apologize, but I said ice cream, but Scoops is actually, I don't think it's ice cream, but Scoops looks like it's a premium liquor bar. So yeah, you see little stands that you can get drinks at, and then like the stand right here that says CAPT Hirams, that's a stage. They had a great musician out there last night playing some music and stuff. So, and then you got some, like I said, restaurants over here, and you got Blackfin's over there. So couple different restaurant options. We sat right over there, right in the window seat last night, and had a nice dinner. And then you can do pontoon boat rentals and everything. So a lot of cool stuff, and you put your kayaks in. We'll probably go right over there on that little beach and put our kayaks in later today. Go out here and do a little kayaking. And as I said, we've been here before one time. We came up here with the kids a couple years ago and had a lot of fun. But then, of course, if you live nearby, or maybe not nearby, and you want to bring your boat down, you can bring your boat down here and dock and stay here at the resort. But you can also bring your boat on a trailer, but they don't have a ramp, but there is a ramp not too far down the road on Indian Drive. So a lot of opportunities for you. And then if we come down here, you'll see they have the River King, which is not obviously open right now. And hopefully we'll be going on that, which it's a 2-hour eco cruise, and they go up the Indian River and show you all the beautiful wildlife here. So we're supposed to go on that later today. That's about 10 o'clock. I mean, look at this. How beautiful is this? Wouldn't you like to stay here and relax? I mean, this is just amazing. So one of the cool things is you see it has that whole island vibe about the property is that the owners, they loved going to the Bahamas. And so the different buildings that you can stay in are named after different Bahama islands. So there's Grand Bahama, we're staying in Rum Cay, there's Exuma. So depending on which building you stay in, it's named after one of the Bahamian islands. So I thought that was kind of cool. That says it all right there. I just need that sign in my house. Oh, we're looking at our room, which is actually right over there. And the first one on the left and on the top floor. And we were looking out here and we saw a dolphin in the water feeding. Thought it was a shark at first. It wasn't, it was just Flipper.
These guys are working it. So if you just watch, if you look at the surface, you'll notice how in this one spot right out here, it's just kind of like shaking, almost like vibrating. It's just a big school of bait that is kind of mixing up the water. And that's why these dolphins are kind of circling it. They're just training that bait and they're trying to get some food.
I think they went behind us. Yeah.
Smart.
I heard it.
So this is about a 2-hour cruise, and we started out at the resort. We went up through the what they call the intracoastal waterway. Now we're heading into the Sebastian River, and we're actually going up what's the North Fork. They're going to take us up here because as we start getting into the freshwater, we might start seeing some alligators. We already saw some amazing dolphin, which is really cool. So the trip is $40 per person, and it's about 2 hours long. And they go out at 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock from the resort. So you come out here and do that. They also have a booze cruise that they do every once in a while. That's about $45 per person. And I guess you can drink as much booze as you want. And they'll come out and do the cruise. And well, if you remember our buddy Pete, who owns the brewery, well, he's got one of those booze cruises coming up. And so you might want to look out for that if you're here this summer and take a little booze cruise with Pete. But now we're heading up to the river, and hopefully we'll see some gators and some more wildlife. But either way, it's an absolutely beautiful cruise. We're in the shade, it's nice and cool. And wow, look at these amazing homes back here. Really neat. And that one house, the guy had an actual cannon from, found it sunk in the ocean. So from one of the ships, that's really cool. He's a treasure hunter. But yeah, it's a nice way to get out and relax. So if you're staying at the resort or not, this would be a good thing to get out and go on. In front of us.
Oh, he's big.
There's a bigger one, y'all. He's
probably 6, 7.
moving out of the way. There he goes. See him?
We pull into the slip. I'll try his hands outside the boat. Come on, we can pinch.
All right, guys, we just finished our cruise. A lot of fun. Guys showed us everything they promised us. We got to see gators, we saw dolphins, we saw birds, and he outran the storm. Best of all, he got us here without getting wet.
I'm Chris. I was the first mate for the trip today. It was a really good tour. We got to see plenty of stuff, and this is the Captain Jim.
It was a nice trip. I would come down, visit us. We do 3 separate trips a day. We go up to Sebastian River. We go up to Sebastian Inlet in Long Point. And then in the evenings, we go over to Pelican Island.
All right, guys. So, hey, you come to Sebastian. You want to go out, see some nature, get on the boat. It was really relaxing. My wife was almost asleep. It was so perfect day for being out on the boat. We're cruising back, and these guys are awesome. So, well, we got back just in the nick of time. Thank you, Captain Jim. But I don't think we'll be doing any kayaking today. Let's just say Mother Nature changed our plans. All right. So let's talk a little bit about real estate, since I am a realtor with True Floridian Realty. So we are now driving through an area known as the Sebastian Highlands. And as you can see, here's a home that's for sale right there. That's a pull home, not sure how much it is, but homes in this neighborhood range anywhere between $329,000, which I saw was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, to as high as $448,000, which was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool. So it kind of varies in between there. I did ask a local realtor, and she said that the median sales price around here is around $350,000, and there's another house for sale right there. So you can see there's no HOA here, and there's people with boats and trailers and RVs. So you'll see that a lot as you get further away from the West Palm Beach. More of these neighborhoods up here are like that, and they don't deal with a bunch of HOAs, which is a good thing. We're fairly close to where Angie and I are staying over there at the resort. We're maybe 10 minutes away from the Indian River, so it's not too far of a drive. And yeah, it's a cute neighborhood. Some of the homes are a little bit older. You'll see a lot of nice foliage. And as I said, Sebastian is a small town, under 30,000 people, so it has that small town vibe. And but very cute. Love that one right there. A nice house, beautiful tree, a nice little pink one with a metal roof. So you see lots of options here, and I'm sure there's something. So if you're thinking about moving and you want to, look in this area, reach out to me and I'll get you in touch with the local realtor who I know that works in the Sebastian area. So one of the other benefits of staying at Captain Hirams is with your resort fee, you get a bike, a beach cruiser. And so I thought I would take it for a ride down this road here, I think it's called Indian River, and let my wife get a little rest back at the hotel before we go to dinner night. So we're gonna cruise around here, and you can see it's really scenic, really pretty down here. And actually, there's lots of bars and restaurants, and one of the bars is a really cool one, and we're about to pass it right now. So this cool place right here is called Earl's Hideaway Lounge, kind of an old biker bar sort of bar, it's pretty cool. And it's just a neat old bar here in Sebastian. A lot of people go and hang out. I think my son actually went up and hung out here one time. And it's a cool little place. And you can see just a great little local hangout. Got a whole section back there. So if you remember when I was telling you that at Captain Hirams you can bring your own boat, and they don't have a place to put the boat in, well, just down the street there's a boat ramp right here, and you can put your boat in there. So as you can see, I'm just cruising along here, heading out on this little pier. It's such a cool little town. Man, what an absolutely awesome town Sebastian is. I mean, just so much history and fun things to do, great surfing, great fishing, boating lifestyle. I mean, look at this out here. The cruise we went on today was really amazing, that eco cruise, and going back up into the Sebastian River and seeing the alligators. It's just old Florida, right? It's just that Florida nature that I love. And that's why I like making these videos for y'all, so you can see different places that you could go out and explore in Florida, or, if you wanted to move to a small town, like I said, I can hook you up with a realtor up here, but really just to get out and support the local businesses and come up here and maybe vacation for a weekend or a week, like some of the people at the hotel are doing, and just have all this to see and do. There's so much of this all up and down the state of Florida, and my job is going to be to keep bringing you more cities as much as I can. Now, this is the farthest north I've ever gone. So I do have friends that live in Ormond Beach. I do have a friend that lives in Cocoa Beach. So I do plan on heading up to those places in the near future. But from there, who knows? I know there's a whole West Coast to get out and explore. And even in between, there's some cool places in the middle of Florida. So we'll keep doing it as long as you guys want to keep watching. And if you do like these videos, do me a favor, please hit that subscribe button. Please click the bell so you get notified every time I make a new video. I put one up every Sunday at 10 a.m. and I do my live streams on Wednesdays at 6:30. And I do have some guests coming up in the near future, so that's going to be cool. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. Keep supporting me. We hit 30,000. I don't have to say that anymore. Yes, I'll be jumping in a pool pretty soon. So we've had an absolutely amazing time up here in Sebastian. Man, just what a great 2 days we've spent here at Captain Hirams, and all the amazing people we met, from John down at the surf camp to Pete at PAREIDOLIA Brewing Company, and of course Nicole at at Mel Fisher Museum. Such a great time, so much fun. And of course, thank you, Kurt, and everyone here at Captain Hirams for having us here this past 2 days. It's been an amazing stay. What a beautiful place. I mean, it really is a little bit of paradise up here on the Treasure Coast. What a great time we've had. And I can't think of a better place to come down, spend a little time with your family or friends, and come here for a day or a week and just enjoy everything that the town of Sebastian has to offer. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, subscribe, all the good stuff. And wherever you are in the world, get out and enjoy paradise. We'll see you next time. Take care.